So I was reading the cinema spot, all cinema all the time. Well, actually, I got it from Cosmic Book News over here, see, about this FLASHPoint story. But I figured, hey, give credit to apparently what started this, even though the story has been rumored around for quite a while. But anyway, this from Tom Polito at the cinema spot. The Flash film to feature Flashpoint Batman with Jeffrey Dean Morgan circling role reprisal. Now, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has openly said that, yeah, he'd be interested in that sort of thing. But I think it was more that he was interested in the Zack Snyder era of the DCEU. And it looked like that was pretty much over. Yeah. Well, not anymore. So anyway, the article is very brief. It details the story, which is in Flashpoint, the Flash, in an attempt to prevent his mother's death at the hands of his arch nemesis, the Reverse Flash, a man from the future who was obsessed with the Flash and then turned against him, murders his mother in the distant past, and his father ends up being framed for it. And in Batman vs. Superman, we saw the Flash and with his father in prison. He's visiting him, very similar to the TV series. So the Flash, wanting to undo all of that, just as he did the TV series, goes back in time and tries to change events and does save his mother's life, but well, the ramifications change the entire world, and things are all very different. There's no Superman. There is a Batman, but it's not Bruce Wayne. It's Thomas Wayne. And, of course, Thomas Wayne was played by, yes, Negan. Oddly enough, his mother was Maggie. But let's hope this turns out better than how Walking Dead ended up being, Yeah, that's all very sad. So anyway, that's the deal. It's a time warp deal, and everything's changed around. And if they actually wanted to do an adaptation of that, and you had Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing the Batman of that alternate reality, and the Flash actually teams up with that Batman and with needing help from him to restore the universe. And once he reveals to that Batman, that Thomas Wayne, that in his reality Bruce Wayne survived. In this reality, Bruce Wayne's the one who died, and Thomas Wayne, played by Jeffrey D. Morgan, becomes Batman. And Lauren Cohen, Maggie from Walking Dead, now Martha Wayne, goes nuts and becomes the Joker. Yeah, now the likelihood that she would become the Joker seems a little odd. You would have to think there was some unseen force at work. Oh, we now know there was in the comics. That was Dr. Manhattan. But that's another story. Although, boy, funny how things connect. Because Zack Snyder did the Watchmen movie. So, boy, what if they wanted to connect all that? Yeah. So anyway, but here, the idea... we now know that, yes, Flashpoint will be sort of the idea behind the Flash film. It would not just be an origin film. His origin may be displayed in it. I'm not sure. But Andy Muschietti said, yeah, it'll be Flashpoint. It just won't be what you're expecting. And that if you read the comic book series of Flashpoint, that doesn't mean you know how this turns out. And could they encompass all of it in a film? And I don't think so. So, but you could have the Thomas Wayne Batman in there. I don't know about the Aquaman versus Wonder Woman. That's another aspect of that story of Aquaman and Wonder Woman go to war. So Atlantis and the Amazons are at war with each other, and the world is just being torn apart by it. And the spark of this was, Aquaman and Wonder Woman had an affair, and Aquaman's wife, Mera, didn't like that, and so she tries to kill Wonder Woman, but, well, Wonder Woman's a lot tougher than her, so Mera died. And Aquaman never forgave Wonder Woman for that. So they go to war, even though Aquaman, come on. You bear some responsibility to this, but nevertheless, that's the origin of the war, and it tears the world apart, and all of that stuff. And Superman does exist, but he was captured by the government and has been kept in some sort of asylum. They let him go, but he's a little skinny dude. I guess they would have to do some severe CGI with Henry Cavill if you had him playing that role. But they could. You know, you saw how Chris Evans was made to look like a little dude in Captain America: The First Avenger. So, yeah, that is possible. Yeah, just hope they can get those special effects people and not the ones who tried to do his mustache. So, I love this. I like the idea that this is possible. I would love to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan play that. I don't know that it's likely, but it seems more likely since he spoke so favorably of Zack Snyder. Everybody who works with Zack Snyder really loves the guy, and he got to do it twice, more so as the comedian in Watchmen, which he did a good job there, and very briefly here as Thomas Wayne. But boy, yeah, he'd make a great Batman. So that would be a cool thing to see. And there's some artwork that someone did on Instagram. Jeffrey Dean Morgan posts this. No one did that. So there's the Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the Thomas Wayne Batman and Martha Wayne Joker. And of course, they were in love and they lost a child. And it's what drove them into these psyches that they both went nuts. And it's this sad little reunion here between the two. But anyway, earlier there was this picture that he posted wearing his comedian mask. And, hey, it still fits like a glove. Yeah. And look for a masked comeback in 2020. Gee, what does that mean? So was he in talks already for this sort of thing? Let's hope so. That would be a cool thing. And there's also mentioned that Cyborg would play a role in the movie. So Cyborg, of course, kind of took the place of Superman in the Flashpoint universe. He was the top superhero, and he tries to form a Justice League, but he can't get them all together. The Shazam kids were involved in it, and they could have done that, and all that stuff. So it's more and more looking closer like that. Now, what if with the Snyder Cut Justice League possibly being broken up into a TV series? What if they just followed that with stuff like Flashpoint? There's the rumors about Ben Affleck returning as Batman for a series on his original movie script with Batman versus Deathstroke, which would be cool. And if they just made these into miniseries, each little, one ends, you start another one. And there, with a miniseries, you'd have more time to flesh out the story details of the original Flashpoint. And, well, I think that would just be dandy. So we'll see what happens. It may just be a film. But, boy, the film industry is still up in a mess because of COVID. So where do you put your movies with theaters? Sure, you can stream them. But if you're already working for this streaming service and you need new material and content and whatnot, you might want to just make these into a series, and you can make it longer. So, The other thing about this is, Flashpoint was a Jeff Johns deal. And people keep talking about Jeff Johns was a bit of a guy who kind of ruined everything for Zack Snyder. Certainly worked against him, apparently, trying to push him out so he could take charge or what have you. But he does have a lot of great ideas in comic books. I am not so impressed with him when it comes to films and television. Right now, checking out the Stargirl series, sometimes it's really stupid. A lot of elements of it, in some parts, pretty good. But I've seen worse. So anyway, that's just an interesting little tidbit there. Warner's owns that story, so he'll probably get a check, and no doubt. But that's about it, probably. So. Want to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman? I know I do. You know what? Even if this all falls apart and they want to go back to Dark Knight Returns, yeah, maybe, just maybe. Well, the clock's ticking on this stuff, so I do hope they hurry on it. But anyway, both of those articles I'll keep in the put in the description, a link in the description below, and you can check those out at your leisure. But exciting things, really exciting things. And I know it's all rumor and whatnot, but boy, does it make a lot of sense. And every now and then more little details come along and says, well, God, could they do that? There definitely will be something of the Flash, whether it would be for HBO Max as a series or what. I think that's a bit of a stretch and hopeful wishing on my part, because by the time the Snyder Cut is up and rolling, and we'll have to see how that performs. If it's a smash hit, they'll probably think, "Oh, damn, we should have done that." But by then, it might be too late, and they've already got the film shot for a theatrical release for the Flash. So I don't know, but we'll see. As for Fandom coming up in August, I think that's going to be more about. They may give you more little tidbits about what's coming for DCEU and HBO Max, but I think a lot of that would concern the Shazam films and probably some of the Flash. And Black Adam and all that, and possibly, hopefully, an announcement about Superman. So anyway, there you go. Cool stuff all around. Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores and have plenty of goodies for you. You know, hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.